it's good to see everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Rob to announce our two public hearings, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mayor. We have two public hearings tonight. The first thing I'd like to do is let everybody know that the City of Tifton's public hearing procedures, the standards for exercising zoning powers, and a copy of the Georgia Conflict of Laws are available as a handout, is also on our website. The first matter under consideration tonight is application number PP 180035. It's a request being brought by Mr. David Deloach for the annexation of approximately 23.54 acres of land located on North US Highway 125, and also to reclassify that property from its current classification of Tift County Residential R12 to City of Tifton Residential R12. At this time, I'd like to ask the council if they have any conflicts. Have any of these applicants or opponents to the application contributed at least $250 to any of the campaigns for election during the past 2 years?
No.
Do you or any members of your family have a property interest that would be affected by the proposed rezoning or reclassification of the property, whether it be a positive or negative impact?
No.
Do you or any member of your family have a financial interest in any business entity that has a property interest in any real property that would be affected by the proposed rezoning or reclassification of the property, whether it be a positive or negative impact?
No.
Probably taking any public comment, I'm going to ask Mr. Wallace to come explain to us what the proposed annexation and development is.
Madam Mayor, Council, it's good to be here with you this afternoon. As Rob stated, this application is for the annexation of a piece of property that will become a subdivision up on US 125 North. It will also be zoned as a R14, which is comparable to what the county has currently. This went before the Planning and Zoning Commission on August the 13th, and after some discussion was approved unanimously. It is also the staff's recommendation that we approve this annexation.
Amy, I think we said R14, is it R12? City R12?
Yeah, R12, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Absolutely. Yeah, I do have some pictures, an aerial view and some pictures of the proposed houses. Mr. Deloach is here as well, representing Beaver Run. He will be the developer. Stephen, you can change it. So this is your aerial view. That is 125 North. On the left side of the road is your North Fire Station. You'll have to excuse my highlighting. That's the best I could do with a mouse. But that is the proposed area for annexation. And that is the initial 19 lots for development. Okay, you can go to the next one. And those are the style houses that are proposed to be developed. Is that 1,800 square feet?
Those are about 1,900, but what we're gonna build is gonna be in the 1,900 to 2,200 square foot range. They're gonna be a little bit larger than that.
Are there any questions,
Mr. Thomas?
comments, concerns?
How many houses are proposed?
19 currently.
Now, is the whole acreage being annexed, or just that part you have circled?
Stephen, can you go back to the aerial view?
Is the whole
Just the
blue?
portion that's circled,
Okay.
just that portion. There's,
Approximately 7 acres in that.
Gotcha. Okay.
all right? All right, thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to take a public comment. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone here who'd like to speak in opposition to the application? There being no public comment, I ask that public hearing be closed.
Okay.
The next public hearing we have today is on a de-obligation of some CDBG funds regarding Parkway flood and drainage facilities. I'm going to ask Mr. Brzezinski if he would to explain to the public as far as what this de-obligation regarding the land funds are.
Okay, I will. In 2016, City Tifton had applied for a CDBG grant to improve some drainage that spilled off Drive, and then obviously continued with the waterways all the way to 75. But this particular open ditch in this area obviously needs some attention. It is currently on private property. It was a good grant, and the details were shared at that time. But looking at it from an engineering perspective, the grant was for $500,000, and it was concluded that this area to do this project, feasibility-wise, was just about $1.2 million. So, Mayor and Council, you remember we discussed that, and obviously all grants are great grants, but when you put realistic terms on them and you look at costs, the $700-something thousand that it would take to do that, it just wasn't justified. So we're going to have to re-examine this and then possibly come back to it if the city desires to do that. So that's why we're doing it.
Is there any citizens here tonight that would like to speak regarding the de-obligation of these CDBG grant funds? Mayor Condon, there will be no comment from public after that be closed.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes our 2 public hearings for the evening. I also want to mention that we are short 2 councilmen this evening. Councilman Folk is actually out of town, and Councilman Ehlers had another obligation. But we do have a quorum and appreciate Councilman Sales and Councilman Terrell being here, so thank you for that. At this time, I would like to recognize 2 gentlemen that are in the audience this afternoon, Wayne Jones and Brian Ray. If y'all will come up here, let me just recognize you and introduce everybody to you. As you know, we have an excellent partnership with ABAC, with the TIFF Theater, and these gentlemen have volunteered to come and address the council. If we have any questions, maybe give us a little mini report on things that are going on, exciting things happening at the TIFF Theater. So, Wayne, I'll turn it over to you and Brian. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. We are planning to be at the workshop each month. We are now fully up to speed. I think we're fully staffed, and what the contract has allowed us to do. My office actually is coordinating this, the Arts Connection at ABAC. We have hired a new tech director who is already doing very fine work in the theater. We're still working with Kaylee Stokes, who is doing an excellent job. Brian Ray is our artistic director, and I'm just going to let him say a word about what's to come, and then I'll fill in some other gaps as well. Brian?
Just to kind of give you a picture of the plan, artistically, our goal is to keep the TIFF full of live performance. So there's a current show being rehearsed right now, and that is on Golden Pond. It'll be followed up with a haunted theater. We have a Christmas show. We're doing a variation on A Christmas Carol. We'll do a late January show, a spring comedy, and then we'll do a musical early summer. And I'm already working on a 2nd season, so we're planning on keeping it going and keeping it full and keeping it fun.
That's very exciting. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of these gentlemen? We're just thrilled about the partnership, so thank you very much.
We are. If y'all saw the Savannah Sipping Society play, that was a great play that y'all put in.
Thank you.
The community players will be doing there's a total of 8 events that are happening, including the children's workshop each summer, and we're actually expanding that. Rentals are up. We also have some exciting prospects for perhaps a film company coming and renting the venue as well. That is in the very earliest stage, but that is partially in a result of what we did with the seating, what was already in place. It caught a lot of attention, and so the use of the theater is already up. We have 7 assistants, the tech director, Brian, and Kaylee, who are all involved in what's going on in the theater now. We've gotten tremendous support from the IT department in upgrading our ticketing systems and the cashiering in concession. What's emerging is we're moving forward with an ever more professional setup in the theater, and we just want to make sure that you know each month we'll be here if you have any questions of us as well.
Thank you, and the performing arts are so important to this community, and so we have a long-standing relationship and look forward to what the future brings. So thank you very, very much.
Thank
It's
you.
great
Thank you.
news. Good.
Wayne, before you leave, just if I may,
Sure.
I wanted to let you know, and obviously the audience, that Wayne and I have talked on an administrative note. He understands the sensitivity of downtown parking, so I wanted to broach that and make sure that we are discussing that. I told the merchants downtown that just the same. All the performances, if they're not on the weekends, they're after hours. So far so good. But
Good.
Kaylee knows that, Wayne knows that, and we're sensitive.
We're also urging any of our folks that are using the theater, any of the ones that are involved in the production of those events, to use the parking over here on Commerce Way. Sunday we had the University of Georgia Symphony Orchestra. Their parking was over in Cato Night, so we are urging folks to respect the business district and the parking needs of the businesses
Thank
as
you.
well.
I know that they appreciate that, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Pete, for bringing that up. Okay, the next item on our agenda under old business is the Solid Waste Committee report. And Pete, you want to handle that?
I will, thank you. The committee and I met, again, and I appreciate the fact that Frank and Johnny have taken this seriously, and we've had numerous discussions about it, and I think it's very sensitive within the community about the cleanliness, the piles, and where we are with regards to, especially yard trash and junk pickup. So we did meet, and I want to preface that by saying I had also a really good meeting with Richard before the meeting, talking about, again, the issues, understanding where we are from his perspective going through this. So we had good conversation about that, and I want to report the findings, where we are. Obviously, we know where we are complaint-wise, we know where we are schedule-wise, and we're going to continue to go with that with Richard, but we're going to resend a letter back to him confirming a conversation just about the level of service that we're expecting, and going forward, how this is going to work. And the Solid Waste Committee has concluded that Richard will fulfill the contract. There's just over a year left on that, and again, define what we're looking for. So that was a consensus, and I think the takeaway from that, the committee is very comfortable in October timeframe of launching an RFP for collection services. That'll leave us about 8 to 10 months of survey time, whoever the successful contractor may be. But just talking through the issues that we're currently going through now, the committee is well informed about that. So they've, again, I think that's a smart way of approaching it, going through the RFP, because we do have a year left on the current contract. So that'll give us some time, and I think that is the best way to handle that. The second thing is creating what's called a special pickup program, where if there's piles that Richard is not obligated to pick up, or if someone wants to clean out a particular shed, or we have a pile of yard trash that's too big, a special pickup program is just that they want to see if the city could obviously administer that to help clean up some of the right-of-ways and how we do that. In a special pickup, obviously it needs to be fee-based, where we could fund a truck and a driver to do that, possibly through ESG's contract, which I will discuss with them at a later date. But I think the biggest thing is addressing large piles of things that are outside the scope, where we could start cleaning up the curbs. And I think it's a really smart approach for a very small fee. Obviously, we have utility bills if people do not want to pay with a card. It would just be a real easy process. I'm very familiar with that, and I think it would work in our city. The third thing is updating ordinance for the program. This is where we start addressing rental and property owners' responsibility. I think that's one of the hangups where we are too, and the committee is ready to study that. I also completely agree with that. And then lastly, revamping our educational and information so our residents understand about code enforcement, understand what they can, what they can't do, putting piles out, and when it's not pickup day, et cetera.
concerning that report? Everybody good? Okay. Under our new business category, I'm going to call Captain Steve Hyman to come up and talk about the bids received for the 6 police units.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We sent out on July the 19th this year, I emailed out 7 bids for 6 2019 Dodge Chargers. They were emailed out, and then I followed up the email with phone calls. Morgan and Jessica sent out digital bids like the policy does. And the bids were supposed to be back in on August the 16th by 10 a.m. when we opened the bids. This year we had budgeted $135,540 in the FY19 budget for these vehicles. And when we got the bids back in that morning, only Griffin Ford had bidded, and they bidded $23,585, which comes to a total of $141,510 for all 6 units. That's approximately $5,900 over what we had placed in the FY19 budget to purchase all 6 vehicles. What we proposing to do is, with the 6 vehicles, is if we make one of the 6 vehicles a patrol detective vehicle, then we can cut the cost down and match up, because we're budgeted $243,000 for total equipped cars. And if we make one of those investigators vehicles, then it'll cost less to equip it, and then it'll make up the difference. And then
Back in line with our budget.
we're back in line with the budget, and things work out. I know the question with just Griffin Ford, but then I called the Chief Dowdy, had me to call the other people that we sent out bids to, and we asked, why we didn't get a bid in this year. And the 2019s, the prices of them come out late. Like Griffin Ford actually got Monday before Thursday was the deadline. That's when they got their prices, and then some of the other dealers were getting their prices by the time, but didn't do the paperwork and send it in. And so, but the reason that the cost of the cars are up some this year is because the dealers get a dealer incentive, and the dealer incentive this year, it was less than what it was last year, and that throws in the offset of the cost of the cars. So we're asking that we be able to go ahead on and purchase the 6 vehicles as planned, so we can get them on the road as quick as we can.
Are you saying we didn't give enough time to the other dealers make their bid when they got the process?
Well, no, sir, we gave enough time, because I sent out the bids on July the 19th, but because of the 2019 prices only come out to the dealers like August 16th was the deadline, but if you go back to the Monday before our deadline is when some of the dealers actually got their prices. I talked with several of them, and that's what they explained to me. And some of them said they didn't want to bid because if they had, they might have overbid it or underbid it. And so, and then also, I also talked with Mr. Bennett. I called him back also, and he was explaining to me he's only with the dealer incentive, and if you look in the packet, with the price for the dealer incentive, he's only $350 over what it would have been. And then he said that he went straight by that he didn't up it any or anything on anything else. That was the straight price, that if any other dealer would have sent one in less than that, they'd have been giving up something somewhere else.
Yeah, Captain Hyman and Chief and I, we talked about this in detail, and it was just how the pricing hit seeing a lot of uptick, not only from state contract, but from mass amount of cars, especially the Dodges, going away from the incentives, and the costs continue to climb. So I would concur with this particular bid in Bridgeport Ford. I really don't think that margin is going to be anywhere near what we've been seeing lately in the past year. So I completely support what Cap High was saying, the way the prices
Well,
are.
I know we have a preference to using local businesses, so if there was any that had to not submit, I'm glad it was the out-of-town dealers.
Even to go one step further, I even asked them to look and see if we can get our hands on 2018 models, because by the time we order, the police department's not getting cars, so we want to get them before April or May of next year. So we even put a feeler out for 2018, and we weren't able to get them. So we just started early, pricing wasn't there, local dealership gave us the pricing, and I think it's well in line.
And with that change and that adjustment to
Yes,
one
and
car, that'll bring us back in line.
Also, they are behind. They ran out of 2018s, and then so when the 2019s hit the market, they've got to fill some of those past orders also. So we've looked into it, and I have called everybody that's been involved and talked to them to see if there's something that we could have done differently, or even if there was somebody that may have gave us a little bit of better price, and then just talking to them on the phone without making them say exactly, I don't think we would have got much better of a deal than what we got with this bid.
All right, thank you so much, I appreciate your.
Thank you. All right.
Any other comments, Jeff?
Yeah, when you say fully equipped, I mean that everything is in the car?
Yes, sir. When I say fully equipped, I mean everything. That's blue lights on the top, just roll out. And with the investigator's car, you don't need the blue lights on the top. You don't need the prisoner package. You don't need the camera in there, and there's several things
The patrol unit is the one?
that needs everything. Yes, sir.
Fully equipped.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much would one
A fully equipped. I mean, a fully equipped car runs us around $41,000, and then with doing one of the investigator cars, it's going to run us around $31,000. There's a difference in there.
Both are budget numbers, Councilman, so we have the cages, the radios, everything that goes in it, that's a budget number.
concerned about the patrol units.
That's right. But that is
It's
separate.
expensive to do that, but it's, we have to, so,
I know.
yeah.
That's why I said it a little while back. We gave a $41,000 car to a fool, and he wrecked it. So that's what I'm saying. We put a lot of money in these cars, so we need to get somebody, whoever drives them, whoever. If you take it home like we did, you're responsible for the car.
Yes, sir. They are responsible for the car. They're responsible for making sure the maintenance, and then keeping the car clean and taken care of. And then when there are unavoidable mistakes or accidents, then we do discipline and follow.
Unavoidable accidents. So we had one fellow, he didn't do the right thing and crashed the car. But thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
That was all.
Okay, all right, thank you, Captain, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is participation in the HEAT program. So I call on Donna Pate to come and give us some information about this.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor, Council. Asking for your consideration for the city to participate again in the Heating Energy Assistance Team. I think this is probably about our 8th year. We've had good results from our Tift County citizens.
We've won some awards, have we not?
We have won some awards. Most years we have for our size cities. We do nothing more in the past. What we've done is got a letter from the city manager, used it as a bill stuffer. We also put a line item on the bill themselves because the customers can go online and make the donation, because the money doesn't actually come here. It's mailed to the heat program in Atlanta. We have several customers that use this every year. If the amount is the same as it has been in years past, it's $350 that's set aside, that's used for only their gas usage. It can't be used for their water or any other utilities. And from what I understand, in Tift County, they go to the Coastal Plains Area Economic Authority to apply, and there's some requirements for income, age. Like I said, I'm not sure. I can't say that it's actually all elderly, but I think it is based mostly on your income. And I do know that it's been very, very beneficial to people when we have those cold winters, that it's helped with their heating bills over the years. So
People have been very generous to donate.
they really have. Our Tift County people have been very generous over the years. So we'll get with Morgan, and I'm sure they can reach out now on social media and other places too, and let her implement it. But
It's, you know, the good thing is by utility bill based, which is great. It is just a form of natural gas. Ms. Joseph used to head this up, and you probably remember her. She probably came and spoke years ago. But
Miss Janet, she sure did.
Joseph,
Yeah.
she's been heading this program. Anyway, it is a great effort, and I think last statistic I remember is over $8,000 here just in Tipton. So it is a good program, and I would hope we support it.
All right, thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is the proposed 2019 LMIG resurfacing projects. Call Mr. Jeff West up to speak with us about that.
Mayor and Council, before he does, I wanted to just put emphasis on this list that it is draft in capital letters.
Yeah, okay.
That this is not a final, this is our first glance at this. So we have some work to do. This is just a draft.
And I know we're terrible about speaking in alphabet soup languages with all these acronyms and everything, and just want to remind everyone that LMIG is the Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant Program that comes from the Georgia Department of Transportation. So, Jeff?
Mayor and Council, like Mr. Brzezinski said, this is a rough draft. We wanted to get it in front of council first before we done a lot of work. We'd like y'all in your areas to look at the roads. If you see any that you want us to add to the list, omit from the list, we want to work with that and start getting estimates together. A lot of these streets are going to be some milling required and some curb replacement. I've rode every one of them. A lot of places where the curb tree roots have jacked them up, and we'll need to replace all that first. Also, we seriously need to look at utilities on these roads, water and sewer. I've done it for years, put a road in, 3 days later you're cutting it, digging it up because it busted a water line. I'd really like to look at that pricing too, as far as replacing water and sewer on these roads. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
And I noticed on the list, it's pretty evenly balanced amongst the 4 districts.
Yes, ma'am.
That are represented by our council, so.
And these aren't prioritized by any form or fashion. I did just put them by district.
Do you consider these the worst streets in each district?
Yes, sir.
What we're seeing, yes, I would agree with that. We have to calculate some linear footage. I know Johnny and I talked today about another street. And if you remember, LMIG for this particular year is we're going to receive $241,000 towards our street. So everything else is going to have to be SPLOST related, which is fine. But we have some pretty heavy hitters. And what I mean by that, Tift Avenue and some of the long streets, Central Avenue, that are just torn up. There's going to be some pretty significant costs associated with that. And then when you get down and you see the pictures, that alligator cracking and the big, the potholes that have been patched, this is going to require milling, so that is going to be an extra cost. So we have to be careful with that in keeping the costs realistic. And as we move on with T-SPLOST in probably 2 to 3 years, we're going to be able to make a lot of headway with it. But I just wanted to comment on that we just really have to approach it very carefully.
And, several of those roads, there's going to be some major maintenance that has to take place before. Several of them, 15, 20 years ago, some company come out with this bright idea of this slurry concoction that they overlaid roads with. It's about that thick, really has no rock in it, so it really didn't support anything. It turned the road black. Made people,
Good for the
it
moment,
looked
didn't
good
it?
for a moment, but now we're paying for that. We go back now and it's chipping up, and those are several of the roads that we need to replace. There's a couple that we need to rework the road and put a new crown and all in it where it'll drain properly.
And I need to let you know, I meant to mention this to you earlier today, Pete, I just jotted a note while I'm thinking about it. I got a message from someone that, it looks like we may have a water leak at 20th and Park.
Well, that's.
That is part of the 20th Street project. They've got to go back and tie the old water line in. We had to wait till we got a fire line put in to the VA. It is,
Right, okay.
it's done, or they were testing it today, so.
Okay, so it's in the works.
It's
You're
just,
aware, okay.
that's the old line. It will be
Yeah.
cut off once we get all that tied in.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Okay.
excellent. And we had talked about that, that's, okay, now that I say that, I remember. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
All
thank
right, any questions, gentlemen, for the LMIG list? Everybody good? You good, Johnny?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes, well, yeah,
Well,
okay.
Timmons,
Mhm.
I want to add Timmons to that list. Timmons from 7th Street to Magnolia, to the cemetery, so,
Mhm.
is in bad shape. And I want to look, I want you to look at that whenever you can, see if we can add it to the list. Well, I know my list that I had redone, my list is complete. I did
Okay.
2 street, my 2 worst streets.
Right,
And the next ones, I wanted, if, after everybody get their worst street
sure.
done, I wanted to come back and add Timmons to my
To your
street.
list, okay, okay,
Whole survey.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got something to look at too. I get a lot of calls over off of Bill Bowen Road, that whole area on the side of
Yes,
Fairfield.
yeah.
Get
Yeah.
look at some of those.
Well, and hopefully, like Pete said, as the T-Splost money comes in, we can begin to catch up on a lot of this, and it's not gonna be immediate, but
But down
There's
the road.
hope in the future. Yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, for the paving.
That's a lot, that's a good news for Tiffin.
Yeah, that'll be good. Excellent. Okay. All right, so any other comments on LMIG? We good on all that? Okay, the next item is the review of proposed amendments to the hotel motel tax ordinance. Mr. Wilmot, you wanna go over that?
Yes, Jessica brought to my attention some of the definitions concerning the hotel motel tax, particularly as it relates to exemptions for the hotel motel tax. The old ordinance had a definition called a permanent resident, which talked about a 10-day occupancy. It was really confusing. Basically, you are exempted from a hotel motel tax if you occupy that room for 30 days or longer. So, and the state law has a definition called extended stay rentals. So what we've done is basically taken the state definition of extended stay rentals, and put that in the definitional section of the ordinance, and took out the permanent resident, because it really does not make any sense in that ordinance. So the first part of the proposed amendment is to remove the definition of permanent resident and replace that with the definition of extended stay rental. The next section talks about exemptions. Again, we have revised that to correlate to the extended stay rentals, which is your 30-day occupancy, and then you do not get a hotel motel tax. And lastly, section 166 of the ordinance would be amended so the reporting requirements for the hotels and motels would require a report for extended stay rentals. So really, this amendment is really trying to get us more in line with the state law definitions, and as far as when something is exempted and what the reporting requirements are. So
Just kind of some housekeeping.
that's exactly.
Okay, okay. Any comments or questions for Rob concerning hotel motel? That extended stay, just changing some verbiage there. All right, Rob, do you want to go ahead and talk about the next item, the appointing an assistant prosecuting
Yeah,
attorney?
and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Cameron Roberts. Cameron, step up there. Cameron is from Marietta, Georgia. She graduated from UGA in 2010. She also did a summer internship in Barcelona and got a bachelor's in Spanish language, so she's available to speak Spanish. She went to Mercer University, which is a great law school, which I graduated from in 2014. She then interned with Judge Nunn up in Houston County. She went to the district attorney's office up in Houston County, worked there. And then she came down to the DA's office here in Tifton. What year was that, Cameron?
That was November of 2015.
All right, and so she's worked there since, when was that, a week ago?
Yes, started Tuesday with you,
So
so.
she's now with us in our Wilmot Powell. And Cameron is going to be taking over the position of the daily operations of the Mr. Court as the solicitor. So what we need to do is adopt a resolution appointing her as an assistant prosecutor. That will then go to the prosecuting attorney's council, where she'll register with them, take the oath, and then she'll be ready to go.
She does a lot. She also does the Legal Food Friends.
That's right.
And she's a hardworking member of the Outreach Marketing Group, so.
And now I can go now that it's on
Yes,
Thursdays again, so we're excited about that.
She's very involved in the Bar Association, very involved in the community,
Yes.
and we're just very lucky to have her on.
Well, I'm lucky to have you guys. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any comments, questions of Cameron? She's a good addition to the team.
Keep it
so.
in line, though. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Keep it in line. That's the problem. Don't worry about this side of the table. It's that side.
I'm worried about him.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cameron.
All right, perfect. Thank
Okay,
y'all.
thank
Thank you
you.
for having me.
Okay. Danny, you want to come back up? You're next on the agenda for updating the code of ordinances regarding the name change to your department.
Absolutely. Once again, Mayor, Council, this is actually sitting in the Planning and Zoning meeting right now for their review and their recommendation. It's approximately 17 pages throughout our ordinance in the original portion of the ordinance as well as the Land Development Code. We tried to if it happens in the future that it needs to be changed, we tried to reduce the amount of times that the name was called out, so there won't be 17 pages again. And we tried to be very thorough in making sure we hit all of those. But we will be presenting that to you in the very near future.
Okay. And again, that's really just more housekeeping. In essence, we're not changing the actual ordinance, we're just changing what the name of your department is.
The name,
And
absolutely.
how is everything going since y'all are in the new building? And
Oh, it is fantastic.
I'm hearing good things, that it's so much easier to come in and do business and.
It is just the access from the public to get to us is,
Exactly.
you know, that was the #1 complaint, and people just love it. They come in there, it's bright in there, it's all open,
Got
sun's
plenty of meeting
shining.
space.
Absolutely.
You don't have to wander around in buildings with no windows, figure out where you are.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. People love it. People
Good.
love it.
Yeah, I've
They
heard
do.
good things also.
Absolutely. I appreciate
Mayor
it.
and Council, if I could just comment quickly, I know it's just administrative, it's a name change on the ordinance, but I wanted to thank Danny and John for just the emphasis that they're putting on it, because I think we've turned the corner. It's not just a name change. I think it's the buy-in, and these guys are really taking that to a whole new level, and I appreciate it very much to where we were to where we are. My report, we're gonna have a meeting, kind of a open house for the public Friday, just so we could invite people in to see, understand what we're doing now and what difference this makes. So thank you for both of you to putting that emphasis on making it a new day, and that's what I envisioned when we first started this. So they're really doing good things with that, and just a great effort.
And I do appreciate your support and y'all's as well.
Thank you. Y'all are doing a great job, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Pete, do you want to talk about the proposed plans for the road closure and realignment?
Yeah, I will, and obviously we're missing Wes and Jack, so I guess the conversations will probably pick up a little more next week, but we have been in discussions with the hospital, and Rob has approached their legal team talking about the resolution and the legal boundaries in the 3 roads that are in play. So if we make the necessary changes and we get the information, this may come before you next Monday for possible action. And again, it's just trying to
basically what I asked their legal department to do is, make sure that we identify exactly, because I think the plan will change somewhat. I want to make sure everything's current, exactly what they're asking us to do. And I think we'll maybe in a position to kind of go through that at a regular meeting.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, thank you. All right, city manager report.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. At your station, I did hand out, and Morgan did, excuse me, get the first batch of our annual report, which has gone to the printer, and we are personally addressing key leadership of Tifton, and we're sending those out via
Excellent.
mail, so we can share that with you. I think April got his copy earlier today.
You got her copy?
Real proud of it, and
Mhm.
thank you for all the input, but year one down, and this is last year. We're already working on next year's report. But it's a great document. We're proud of it, so we're going to.
It's something we've needed for a long time, and I just want to pat you on the back, Morgan. It is beautiful. I'm so proud of that. So it's full of good information, just solid facts, and it's presented in a way that's easy to understand, and so thank you for that. I'm very, very proud of that document. It's very nice.
That was something that was needed.
Very much so.
There's
It's,
a lot of information.
there's a lot, yeah. Well, I
And
kind of
it's
look at
very
it
well
as a,
presented.
if we're the, if we're the directors and our constituents are, who we need to answer to, it's kind of like a board of directors report, and this is what's happening within your city, and it's important that they have that information. Like I said, it's easy to comprehend. It's not so analytical, and sometimes government reporting can be quite boring, but you did a very nice job with that, so thank you.
Secondly, also for Monday, and I think I've talked to each of you, Monday we might be seeing, I'm going to push to have the retirement ordinance to you. Again, this is pretty well done. We've already communicated to the retirees, so things are in motion. We're getting that last document for your review. I will have GMA staff here Monday to answer any questions, but I'll be looking for that here in just the next couple of days. But we're well on track, and it's going to be a great thing for the city of Tiffin, so I'm excited to roll that out too. As I mentioned, open house, community development on Friday. It's going to start probably around 11:30. We'll have some appetizers. We're excited to show off the building and meet the staff, so we hope that we can get that out on social media. We have a good showing. And then lastly, there's a lunch and learn. I'll just pass this out to you if you'd like to attend. As an employee, I mentioned wellness, and I'm going to keep talking about that. Denise and the Wellness Committee doing a great job with keeping in tune with our wellness, doing little things for the benefit of our employees. And we're having our second lunch and learn at Community Development Center September 13th. That is Thursday, this coming Thursday. And this particular topic is managing workplace stress and finding balance. So if you'd like to attend, come get a free lunch and learn about this.
Lawyers invited.
Lawyers invited. Can't remember. Dealing with you, she may come out and take some notes.
You're the cause of a lot of the stress. I mean,
But if you like to, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be a great session too. So just wellness is part of it. I think you're seeing the statistics, what we're having to offer with our athletes.
Perfect.
Good stuff. That's it for me.
Okay, great. The next item on the agenda is our board report. And at a recent meeting, we had appointed Megan Campbell for the Tifton Housing Authority. And at the time that Megan applied, she had the time to devote to that organization. Since then, she's gotten very involved with church and school and various activities with her children, and did not, and I appreciate very much, she said, I just don't feel like I've got the time to devote to that. So we'll need to look at possibly appointing another person to represent us on that housing authority. And you've got some applications there. We can talk through that this evening, or we can wait until Monday if you'd like to. Bryant Hill is a very interesting candidate. He is the CEO of Urban Elevation and is currently doing a lot with a lot of the children that are residents of the housing authority properties. Demetrius Pettiford is another interesting candidate that I've heard wonderful things about, so I think we've got some great options there to consider. So I believe that would be, let me scroll back here. I believe believe those are and then the only other application, or excuse me, vacancy that we have is on the Tifton Zoning Board of Appeals. That, if you'll remember, Jan and Lyle Wise, Jan was on Planning and Zoning, Lyle was on Zoning Board of Appeals, a husband and wife team, and they moved from Tifton, unfortunately. They have retired and going on to the next phase of their life, so those vacancies are available, and we do have some good applicants here, so we can, if you want to, we can just wait and discuss that at the next meeting on how we want to fill those. So, and anything else on board reports? Did y'all have any questions or comments on board reports? Okay. If we would like to, we'll call on Councilman Terrell. Would you like to go for any comments, any ideas, suggestions, concerns? Let you go first on our council reports.
I'm good.
You good?
Thank you. We're gonna turn the corner.
We have a lot of good stuff going on in Tifton, isn't there? There really is.
We've turned the corner, so
Yep.
that's all right.
All right, excellent. All right, Councilman Sales?
I just want to note that the Downtown Development Authority has agreed to fund the facade on Commerce Way, to kind of keep that facade on those buildings that we're
Oh,
raising.
yes,
So
good.
media has decided to fund it, so.
Excellent. Well, that's great. That's good. I think that'll be a nice addition for that project. That's good.
There's a little waiting behind
On the state. I know.
I sent an email this past week to Bob, so hopefully they have some kind of feedback from them. Since they've lost it, maybe the fast track is, with any luck.
State does not move us.
Yeah, if they don't. I'll wrap things up. I think things are just
Hey,
going. What's that?
Mr. Sells got something going on Thursday night.
Well, that's
Oh,
true. We have
yes.
the Tiff County Public Library Foundation, our annual
Yes.
fundraiser is Thursday night with the swinging medallions at the UGA Conference Center. If you haven't got your dinner tickets, too bad because today was the deadline, but we're selling show-only tickets up till showtime. So you can still come and dance and see the swinging medallions.
May I, Gary McCorvey's coming, he's gonna teach us all how to do the shag.
Oh, boy.
Shag.
That's worth the price of admission right
I'm
there.
telling you, Gary, we're gonna film it. Gary McCorvey can shag, I promise, I've seen it.
Well, my hat's off to the team. I think everybody's working hard. I'm so excited. We're all sort of moving in the same direction. Like you said, Councilman Terrell, I'll kind of echo what you just alluded to. Good things are going on in our little town, and there's some excitement, and Peter, appreciate what you do as our city manager, and all of our leadership team is here, our management team, and just want to say hats off to all of you folks, and thank you for what you do. So, unless there's anything else to come before the council, I think we are adjourned. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna be in Athens at a conference,
Yeah.
at
We'll miss you.
Are you